I hope by now y'all aren't expecting me to look put together every time I post a video. Sometimes this is all you get. Hello, welcome to an extra video. So I was going to do a spring book recommendation, but due to current events, you know, we're all self-isolating at home alone, we're all just trying to vibe. I decided to instead do a books you might want to read while you're in self-isolation / books for the end of the world recommendation video. Some of these books are a little more like escapist, they're going to be a little bit more fun. Some of these books are going to like lean into it a little bit. We're just going to start. I'm just going to pull off of my pile. I have a pile right here. The first thing I'm going to recommend to you is if you're looking for something light and fluffy and romancy, maybe pick up a Sarah Dessen book. So this is Along for the Ride, which is about Auden, who is an insomniac, and nights have always been her time, and then she meets Eli, who is also an insomniac. It's summer, I'm fall in love. You know, sometimes you just want to read about some happy stuff. Sometimes you want to read some fantasy that's lighter fantasy. This is Grim Lovelies by Megan Shepherd. It follows Anouk and her friends / co-workers trying to save themselves after their witch has passed away, and in this universe they're beasties, which means they are animals that have been charmed into humans, and when the witch, the charmer, dies, they have 24 hours to find their pelts in order to continue living. I know that sounds kind of intense. It's a heist book, is the easiest way I can describe it. It's like a magical heist book, and it is actually a really fun read. It's not the happiest book that I've ever read, you know, it's not Along for the Ride. It's not like fluffy necessarily, but it's like a more light-hearted fantasy, realistic fantasy story. So I'm sorry that I'm always so garbage at explaining what books are. Okay, the next one is one that I've never really seen anyone talk about. This is Marina by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is my Spanish copy, which is why some of the words are in Spanish, but I have it in Spanish and English. It's a historical mystery, and it's really fun. So we follow Marina and Oscar, and it's kind of got like two side-by-side plots. So one is the story of Marina and Oscar, and the other is them trying to uncover this mystery in Barcelona. It's YA, it's fun, it's such a good read. It's like a little bit spooky, and it's just a really fun. Yep, we're just gonna be lazy and I'm not gonna tell you actually when it takes place. It's moderately recent. It's not like it takes place in 1600, which you probably know if you know anything about me, because I don't like historical fiction typically. Next up is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I wanted to include a couple mysteries because I think mystery thrillers are really, really good for taking my mind off things. I like fall into mystery thrillers in a way that I don't get enraptured in very many other things. So for me, a mystery or a thriller or a horror is a good, like, escapist thing for me. And I realize that most people don't consider that very escapist. I think everyone probably knows what this is about. This is about a group of kids who get detention one day. One of them dies. Basically, the ones that are left alive, the idea is that one of them is a killer. So this is called, like, The Breakfast Club meets Pretty Little Liars. The twist didn't surprise me, but I thought it was a fun read. I read it in like a day. I think it's a good one. Maybe check it out if you haven't. Let's go back to fantasy. This is Ever the Hunted by Erin Summerell. This is about a girl named Britta Flannery whose father has been murdered. Her whole deal is to bring the killer to justice, but she thinks that it's the boy that like her first love, like the boy that she fell in love with when she was a kiddo. So this is like fantasy politics and love story and avenging one's father's death and magic, and It's a fun read. It's cute. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars, but it's a really, really fun book, and I think you should check it out. Also, the cover, stunning. Another mystery recommendation, We Were Liars, which is not a murder mystery. It's not a traditional mystery, but it's more like piecing together a narrative told by an unreliable narrator, and you don't really know what the mystery is. It was my favorite read of 2019. It's such a fun book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. The thing about We Were Liars is that you have to like tiptoe around talking about it, because if you tell anything really about the plot, it's like spoilery. Because the point is to piece together the narrative. So go read the summary and then check it out if you haven't already. And if you have, maybe reread it. It's a good one. And lent my copy to a friend. Next, I'm recommending you read Truly Devious, which is another one of those mysteries. I just am on a mystery kick, I guess. Alright, so Truly Devious, if you haven't read it, follows dual timeline, but mainly we're following Stevie, who is a young girl who is attending the Ellingham Academy, which is shrouded in mystery because the founder of the school, his family, his wife and daughter, were kidnapped and held for ransom, and no one ever solved the mystery. So Stevie sets out, her goal is to solve the mystery. Now, full disclosure, I have not finished this series yet, so I don't actually know if like the ending is good. But the first book is great. And there's 3, so if you want a more lighthearted mystery, YA mystery, that will take you a minute to read, because there's 3 books, then I highly recommend Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. If you're in the mood for some self-help, I recommend The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and I don't really have anything to say about that except for that now is a really good time to work on yourself since we're all home, so it's a good one. Pick it up if you like self-help. And my last 2 recommendations lean in a little bit to the idea of pandemics and darkness, because I'm one of those people, and the world ending isn't going to stop me from reading messed up stuff. So my first rec is Blindness by Jose Saramago. Wow, look at me recommending non-English books. This is new. This is fun. This book is about a pandemic of white blindness. So we open up when all of a sudden a solidly large group of people suddenly become blind, but all they see is white. And so they get quarantined, they get like shoved in and abandoned. I think it's a prison. It's either a prison or a mental institution, alone, and they dump supplies, and it's kind of anarchy, and it has a lot of really, really good social commentary. So if you like dark stuff, maybe pick it up. It's an adult book, so there's some heavy scenes, but it's a good one. And my last recommendation, I just finished a couple days ago, and that's Wilder Girls by Rory. Oh, I don't remember Rory's last name. What's Rory's last name? Wait. Rory Power. Oh, that's a fun one. This book is basically, it's a mystery, and it's mystery horror, is what I'm going to call it. So there's body horror. If you don't like body horror, do not pick this book up. There's like body parts changing. We've got like messed up eyes and hands and blood and guts, and so beware of the blood and the bodies and the things. But we follow a group of women out on an island outside of Maine who used to attend Raxter Academy, which is a private boarding school. But something started happening on the island, and all of a sudden all of these women are infected with some kind of disease that starts doing weird things to their bodies. That's where the body horror comes in. And so basically the mystery, we're just trying to figure out what's happening, blah, blah, blah. One of the main characters, it's told in dual perspective. One of the perspectives, she gets taken away, and it's Hetty, so Byatt gets taken away, and Hetty basically goes on a mission with her other friend Reese to find her, to save her, etc., etc. It's also queer. It's also like 97% female cast. There's like 1.5 males. in the entire book, and it's fabulous. Yeah. So those are my recommendations for The End of the World. Will I be reading any of these books particularly? Only maybe. But that's mostly because I'm participating in a month-long readathon. I'm participating in the Owls readathon in April, and not a whole lot of these books fall into one of the prompts, so we'll see. Thanks for hanging out with me. I post a new video every Tuesday and Thursday, but in April I'm doing a video every day, so video every day in April. That's 30 videos in the next 35 days or whatever. My normal video will be up tomorrow. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll see you all soon. Bye.